The USDA Forest Service Southern Research Station, producing science you can use.
Hey, good morning, everyone. Give folks a minute to grab a seat, please. Okay, everybody, we're gonna kick off this really nice occasion to honor some of our employees, meaning Forest Service, as well as our very, very important partners. The ceremony today is about the Two Chiefs Award, and my name's Jennifer Plyler, and I work for the Southern Research Station here in Asheville, North Carolina. And so welcome, everyone. Welcome, audience here in the room. Welcome, folks on the VTC from the regional office, and welcome to folks out in cyberspace that are joining us live streaming. So we really appreciate your attendance today and to celebrate these award recipients for this great honor, the Two Chiefs Awards. I'm going to do a little safety message just to kick us off, and then I'm going to turn it over to Rob Dowdrick, the station director for the Southern Research Station. So safety. First of all, if anything happens in this time that we're here together, we're all going to go out the front door here, the door that most of you came in, especially the visitors, but everyone else, employees know, front door, and we're going to go to that bottom parking lot off to the right, and that will be our meeting place if anything happens during our time here. Also, just another safety message, and it's good that we just Velcroed down a wire here, because my very brief safety message was just going to be about office safety and making sure that your office is safe and that you have wires put away or duct tape typically, but we've got this nice Velcro strip here to put down the wire. Anything else in the office, things that are on shelving, making sure that you're using the ergonomically correct way to lift things. We all think about safety in terms of field safety, but we also just need to be very aware.
The conference.
Anyway, I just want us to be aware of that office safety is just as important as field safety. So just a little reminder. And at this time, I'd like to turn over the award ceremony to Rob Dowdrick, the station director for the Southern Research Station. Rob?
Thanks, Jennifer. Well, it's good to see. We don't have full chairs, but it's almost church-like. Everybody's kind of in the back. We always put a row of chairs in the front so that everybody feels comfortable. Never mind. I won't go down that road very far. But I do want to welcome everybody. Welcome everybody. The folks there in the regional office. Thanks for being able to join us, and the folks in the digital world for joining us as well. It really is an honor for not only the folks here that are going to get the awards, that are going to receive the awards. It's certainly been acknowledged by the two chiefs that work has been very significant. But it's certainly an honor for me to be able to represent those two chiefs in presenting the awards as well. We're going to try and get that feature turned off.
To turn off name record, press 1. So for entry and exit tone are now off.
Ah, good. Maybe that's gone. So that's much appreciated for everybody to be able to join us. I don't know the people in digital or cyber world. I do have a couple of folks to acknowledge that are out there, and I'll do that. You hopefully are there. If you're not, we'll never know anyway, so we'll just be fine. So let me repeat. This is significant in that I think it's probably been, well, I'm going to say it was before I went to North Central, so it's been probably 10 years that the two chiefs, NRCS and the Forest Service, got together and said, you know what, there are some significant things that we do collectively that acknowledge great work, or that we should get together and acknowledge the great work that both of our agencies are doing together. We certainly report to the same undersecretary, so we should be collectively acknowledging those activities that cross those boundaries. And so that's the foundation for the Two Chiefs Awards. The two chiefs, NRCS and Forest Service, have agreed for for that period of time, that they will acknowledge particularly partnership activities. There are others that are being acknowledged, but in this case, we're acknowledging certainly the partnerships activities that we're doing together with NRCS. In this case, we have some folks from NIFA and from Extension and so on, so it's an even broader community. I'm going to acknowledge the two Forest Service folks, Claire Payne, who's in the audience here, George Hernandez, who I've known for quite a long while as well, are the two Forest Service folks. Gail Brandt is NRCS. Bob Barden is from North Carolina State. Bill Hubbard and Daryl Outlaw, Daryl's there, Bill's here, are from Extension, Southern Regional Extension. Let's see, who else have I got? And then in cyberspace will be Eric Taylor from the Texas Ag Life Extension Service, and Josh, Adassi, thank you, is from North Carolina A&T. And I really appreciate all the folks in the room and certainly those that are in cyberspace. A little quick comment about partnerships. You know, for a long time, at least in the research world and certainly Extension's life and NRCS, has been about partnerships. I mean, for research, we can't get our work done. We can't communicate with people without partnerships. So it's been it is part of the way we just do business. The interesting thing about the undertaking that these folks have taken on is to accept the challenge that we need to broaden the community of people we work with, that we look to others to help us communicate our message. I mean, several years ago, Forest Service got a little bit thumped by the administration for not doing a very good job of science delivery, in quotes. And so part of what's happened here is taking that challenge on and addressing that issue of science delivery. We really appreciate the collective effort. In this case, it's to take on new technology, which is the webinar approach to delivering that information. And although everybody that's been a part of this knows that there have been some challenges in that webinar world because of firewalls and others, it really has been a huge success. We've reached well over 1,500 people. We've done many of these webinars now, and has even gone into, with Extension's help and so on, into certification. So people are getting credit, not just for tuning in, but for actually participating and doing what's necessary. And all of it is focused on conservation and forest stewardship, which is what everybody in the room and on the video and in cyberspace are all about. The challenge, certainly for this whole idea of partnerships, is how do you bring that collective of people together, especially in the East? The issue of partnerships is a little easier out west. You've got BLM and a few other Department of Interior neighbors, and you get this checkerboard in a lot of cases where the railroads had some ownership issues out west. But in the East, we can't do anything without partners. And so, again, I want to acknowledge not just the webinar activities, but the effort to reach that broader community. So with that, let me flip over. So we're recognizing today, initially the proposal went forward for the award. There were about 900 people that had participated in the first set of webinars. Like I said, we're up above 1,500 now. Significant set of partners everywhere from Southern Research Station to Region 8 to Extension to Natural Resources Conservation Service, North Carolina A&T, and the Texas Ag Life folks. I think I'm going to pause just a second and offer Jerome just a minute. If I know I think Jennifer talked to you just a little bit and offered a Jerome, if there's anything, Jerome, you want to add to this conversation. I don't think, because unless they can see your reflection here, I'm the only one that sees you and what's going on. Everybody look for Jerome's reflection in the video and you'll know what Jerome's doing. But Jerome, I'll give you a couple of minutes to say anything you want.
Okay. Rob, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Okay. You know, I really, really want to support the comments that you made on partnerships and working together, especially where there are mutual interests and common objectives. And when you look across the landscape that we have, it is so hard to get things done without these relationships and these partnerships. And I'm sure that we share many of these same partners in doing work across landscape. But I want to talk just a little about the relationships that we have with Southern Research Station and with research. Because there are a number of things that we depend upon research to help us with. And there are relationships formed at the highest level, there are relationships formed at the unit level that really help us to answer important questions that are helpful in management. And without your expertise, we couldn't get those questions answered. And Rob, I was in a conversation with some people recently regarding some of the landscape assessment type work that we do. And we were talking a little bit about Southern Forest Futures, and there were several questions about where did the data come from and who were your partners, how you were able to align yourself with the partners so that you could accomplish this work. You know, Rob, it's easy for us because of our relationships, because of the commitment from you and the commitment from Liz, and below you, that same level of commitment with your assistant directors and project leaders, that something like Southern Forest Futures, where you have so many players, so much data from so many different sources, people working side by side in order to accomplish an objective toward understanding what's happening on the landscape and making some inferences about what might happen in the future. And I think it's only fitting, from my view, that two chiefs would recognize efforts where we've used our relationship and continue to use our relationship to deliver these webinars and share information in an effort to continue to communicate and educate and be helpful in being able to deliver the resource management and achieve objectives across the landscape. So I just want to reinforce our partnership and the relationships that we have.
Very good, Jerome. Thanks so much. I understand you guys at your next LT meeting are going to recognize George there, and so that's good as well to have an internal recognition within your leadership team. So that's good also.
Yes, sir. We are planning to do that.
Good. So without delaying this any longer, I'm going to go ahead and begin to acknowledge folks. And please forgive me, I don't like to read scripts. Everybody that knows me knows that's not good for me, but I really do want to make sure that I catch at least some high points about the individuals that we're recognizing. And to do that, I don't want to mess it up, so I'm going to go ahead and read the little pieces. So first, Bob Barden is Associate Dean of Extension and Engagement in the College of Natural Resources and Department Extension Leader and Professor in the Department of Forestry and Environmental Resources at NC State. His current focus is on using distance learning technology and extension program delivery to natural resource professionals, and this obviously is something that must be dear to him. So with that, thank you, Bob. Let me step back over here just a little ways and show folks. I'm going to do this. There you go, guys. And then we'll go back so you can see a little bit of what we got. So there's a real nice wood plaque and then a plaque with his name on it. One for the university and one for Bob. So thank you.
Thank you.
You bet. I don't know how we're going to the shake hands deal. Thank you very much. All right. George, I'll just walk up and do something like this for you maybe. Okay, Bill Hubbard is next. Bill is the Regional Forester for the Cooperative Extension Service, Southern Region. And his staff works principally on regional programs and projects related to forest management, climate change, forest bioenergy resources, urban forestry, and internet technologies. His position is created specifically to encourage improved regional technology transfer, information dissemination, communication, and professional development. Again, this whole activity with webinars and partnerships matches up perfectly with that need from the NIFA approach and from Extension. So, Bill, thank you very much. There we go. I'll do this and then that, and that'll work. Thank you. Next, I'm going to recognize Daryl Outlaw. Daryl is the IT Senior Manager for Southern Regional Extension Forestry, which means that Bill is the pretty face. And Daryl is the one that does all the work. So I want to acknowledge that fact. I want to acknowledge that Bill runs around and does all this stuff, but my understanding is Daryl is the guy, because it says here he manages the portal that provides access to our partnership webinars. So, Daryl, I really want to thank you for your hard work. So, thank you. You got to be careful sometimes with that, because it's not all that pretty a face. That's the really worrisome part. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I'm in trouble now. All right. Next, I want to recognize Gail Brandt of USDA NRCS, is the rural sociologist on the core team at the East National Technology Support Center in Greensboro. Ms. Brandt provides technical assistance, develops sociological aids, and conducts training on the unique role of the human environment in managing natural resources. And I do notice that one of the most recent of the webinars was on socially vulnerable communities and engaging Latino communities, which is certainly something the station is really beginning to try and figure out. We've begun to do translations of most of our manuscripts and so on now into Spanish, so we certainly appreciate that effort on your part. With that, I want to say thank you. Thank you very much, Gail. Appreciate it. Here. Oop, oop. Nope. Yeah. However you want to get there. That's yours too. You get two. You get a twofer. Yeah. That recognizes the organization as well. Okay. And last here in the room, I believe, is Claire Payne, who is Technical Information Specialist with the station. One of her favorite roles is outreach. On the outreach and marketing team has been working with partners to reach landowners and other stakeholders, which is evident in her efforts here. With that, I want to thank Claire for her efforts as well. You bet. Hey, George. Thank you, Claire. Okay. Let's see. I'm going to do, let's see, I'm going to skip the process just real quick. I'm going to go, since George is on the video, I'm going to acknowledge George right now. Oh, okay. Yeah, gee, George, that's too bad. George is the regeneration specialist with the Forest Service in the Southern Region Cooperative Forestry, which means he provides technical assistance to the 13 Southern state-operated nursery and tree improvement programs. He's a strong ally, and I want to acknowledge what Jerome said before. Without some of the folks like George in the region, we would be hard-pressed to get our job done. So George, thank you. I very much appreciate your effort. It's going to be even harder for the next couple of folks to do this. Eric Taylor is the next individual I want to acknowledge. Eric is an associate professor and extension specialist in forestry for Texas AgriLife Extension Service. His current focus includes forest health and resiliency, forest ecosystem services, woody bioenergy, and pine silviculture. The ecosystem services certainly catches my attention because of all the work I did when I was in the chief's office on ecosystem services. We've got stuff here for Eric. Do we want to, I don't know. Yeah, we hope he's out there. Eric, here's what you missed. And we'll make sure we get these to you. And last is Joshua Adasi, is Natural Resource Specialist at North Carolina A&T State University Cooperative Extension Program. His main responsibility is to develop training programs that target underserved and limited resources, small-scale farmers, and woodland owners. And again, that's a population of folks that we've found it very difficult to work with, to reach. We've started an activity in the station that's going to try and work more closely with lots of partners. We're just calling it the Southern Family Forest Center idea. Not sure where that's going at this point, but we clearly recognize that that small landowner is an important landowner for us to work with, and we look forward to expanding these sorts of activities to reach that set of folks. So Joshua, I really appreciate your efforts as well, and hopefully you're out there and are at least enjoying the voice part of this. We have one other individual that that's not on the video or anywhere around that we're aware of, and that's Matt Bonham with Texas AgriLife, and we'll make sure that we get that to him as well. So with that, I think, you have one more? I don't know. I was going to ask everybody to thank everybody. Are you going to do that? To go through too. Okay, so with that, I think I'm done, and what I'd invite you to do is thank all of the award recipients with a round of applause, and thank you for coming here today. Okay.
Hi, I just wanted to close this with thanking some of the folks here in the station that helped make this event happen. Gary Coleman, Louise Wild, Donna Burnett, Claire Payne, Sandy Baker, Jeff Williams, Ed Mundy, and Mike Robinson. So thanks to all of them that helped put this event together this morning for the 2 Chiefs Awards. So it was a group effort, and again, a round of applause for the award winners. And thanks everyone for joining us this morning, and have a very good day and a safe day.
Hey, thanks, Rob.